First, let's set the tempo to 128. This genre is all about rave and feel. We will be dealing with the former in the later part of the production. Now we can focus on hitting the feels with some good chords. Let's start off with a simple chord progression. We can space out the notes by moving the second notes one octave up. Then I introduce some rhythm. Then I added even more notes to make it sound better, and this is the final version of our chord progression. Then I wrote a melody on top of this chord progression. Then I added Surge to play the chords. We need a little bit of reverb in here. I'm choosing this slot and adding reverb in that selected slot. Then I directed this track output to a bus which I named LFO, containing simple side plugin for that pumping effect. I want to make it stereo by choosing the right filter configuration inside Surge plugin. Then I chose T-Force Alpha for the drop lead melody. Then I added Surge to play the root notes as the gritty bass. Then I duplicated Surge to play the sub bass. Let's do a bit of EQ to make them fit together, cutting the sub in the super saw and decreasing the sub in the gritty bass. Before layering and introducing automations, let's move these to the right to make space for the build-up and other stuff. We can start layering by enabling the other oscillators in the first Surge, unmute oscillator 2 here, and go to that oscillator and choose Square Wave, and then mute oscillator 1. Then I messed around to get it to sound like this. The same way, I messed around with oscillator 3 to get one more different sound. Now listen to the pitch bend in this bass. I want to imitate that in the chords as well, but the problem is we need the play mode to be poly to play multiple notes at a time, and FP, which stands for fingered portamento, is only available for mono mode, with which we can only play a single note at a time. And it is with this portamento that I made the bass to slide between notes. So with chords, we have to automate the pitch of the oscillators. But the pitch parameter is separate to the 3 oscillators, meaning we will have to automate the respective pitch sliders of the 3 oscillators separately. Well, that's where macros come into use in a synth, and Surge has 4 macros. Let's click on the first one. Clicking again will open it for connections, and we can connect any number of the blue colored parameter sliders to this macro by clicking those sliders. I'm pulling the pitch slider of oscillator 1 to the maximum value I want it to be when I automate the macro to its maximum value. Then we repeat this process with oscillators 2 and 3. Then we click on the macro to disable connections. By default, the macro is unipolar, which means it moves only in one direction. Since the pitch slider can go up and down, and I do want to bend the pitch in both directions, we right-click the macro and change it to bipolar. Now it moves in both directions. Now all we have to do is automate this single macro to automate the pitch of all three oscillators. Then I layered the Super Saw sound with 2 more surge presets after duplicating it. Observe the melody here. I made the bass and chords to follow the same rhythm as the lead melody. I felt that the gritty bass needed one more layer. Then using Step Sequencer, added this kick. Then I added more percussion elements and bounced it into piano roll. Added these drum loops for the repetition. And together, some white noise. And so far this is what we have. Then I added more layers to the lead. All of our synth tracks were going to the LFO bus. In order to have more control during mixing, I separated them into their respective groups. Like the lead tracks go to the leads bus, the chords tracks go to the chords bus, and the bass tracks to the bass bus. And these 3 buses are eventually directed to the LFO bus. It's gonna take some time to mix this, so I'll be back after mixing. And I ended up completing it. Let me show you all the stuff I added. First, in the drop section, here we have a drum fill. As you can see, there are some automations on the clip. You can enable that by clicking this drop down or pressing the scroll wheel of the mouse while you're on the track. This brings the same option as the track pane, and we can select whichever clip automation we want to use. For example, gain. Or maybe pan. I also have an effect exclusively on this clip. To add an effect on a single clip, just drag and drop the effect from the browser onto the clip. We can access the clip effects from here. Here is the effect that was added. Just like I showed you now, I have added 2 automations on this clip effect. Alright, we have this piano playing the lead during the drop repetition. Then we have these pads for atmosphere. Then this riser following the lead pattern. Then one more riser. Some effects for the outro. Now to the build-up, starting off with these risers. Keys 1 Classic playing the chords. Atmospheric pads. We have the lead and the chords from the drop, whose low pass is automated till the end of the build-up. Then we have a Reese bass. Then 3 layers introducing the lead melody. Automated plucky chords. Two vocal samples transposed to our scale. And these samples that I bounced and reversed. Oh, I almost forgot the build-up drums. Alright, before preview, I have something to tell you that I found during my research on this genre. If we look up Progressive House tutorial, we will end up getting something similar to what we made now, but the problem is when we look up Progressive House mix. These sound totally different from the music featured in the tutorials. For many hardcore EDM fans, now including me, these are the actual Progressive House tracks. And I'll be trying to make one myself in the future, and if you don't want to miss that, then do subscribe. If you do know about the origins of this genre, then do comment it. I do want to find out where this misunderstanding came from, and leave a like if you found this video useful. Stay safe, stay healthy, I'll see you next time.